guns or knives or whatever, it might have some impact, but just to put unarmed officers to walk through and trudge through as one sort of step, looking like the mummy, to think that's going to have any effect was ridiculous, frankly.
From the wedge, we move on to the wedgie.
If the prisoner is reluctant, he is assisted from the seat. This throws him off balance and makes it easier to propel him forward.
These tactics were still woefully inadequate in August 1976. As night fell, the Notting Hill Carnival descended into widespread rioting. Yet again, the police had to protect themselves with whatever came to hand.
We found that we were under attack. We had nothing to protect us, so we grabbed dustbin lids to protect us, but that was all you had. We didn't have shield pads on or anything then. We were just game for them. Game for them.
The Met Police were forced into action and introduced purpose-built riot shields the following year, just in time for what was becoming as regular a fixture as the carnival itself.
Well, Notting Hill Carnival turned into an annual battle between the police and the black community, and police officers in their thousands were kept in sort of holding camps. Big marquees were shown as sometimes inappropriate films like Zulu.
Possibly not the best way to prepare young officers about to go into a racially sensitive, volatile situation.
The tension was being wound up throughout the whole weekend. It resulted in, on a number of occasions, police officers behind their plastic shields banging on their shields with truncheons, copying exactly what was in the film.
A decade of public disorder followed. Truncheons on riot shields became a familiar sound on the racially charged streets of Toxteth and Brixton. By the miners' strike in the mid-80s, police equipment and tactics were evolving. They'd plenty of practice. (1990), central London. A demonstration against the Conservative government's unpopular poll tax. And now coppers were more than ready to rumble.
Missiles rained down on the police, who seemed...
As running street battles erupted, a well-prepared and highly trained riot squad was tested to the limit.
I thoroughly enjoyed the physical side of the poll tax. The great attraction for me was the fighting. It's not something that I've ever shied away from. When we deployed, I can remember seeing this blue barrier of police officers at the top, and the sky above them was just black. It was just black with the missiles that were being thrown at them. And I was immediately struck at the similarity to that scene in, I think it's Henry V, the Battle of Agincourt, where the English archers take out the French knights. The air was just full of missiles. And there's this roar of a crowd. And I remember thinking, God, this is extraordinary. I mean, we're going into something that's really, really extraordinary. We obviously had our sticks with us, but you were fending off blows left, right and centre with your spare fist and with your truncheon. And there was nobody was giving any ground at all. It was face-to-face fighting.
The casualty list grew.
Well, they just ran past and they just started hitting us. I wasn't doing anything. Yeah, they just started hitting me.
Properly coordinated and equipped, the police were able to contain the worst rioting seen in the UK that century. Over 300 demonstrators were arrested as police regained order.
I got a real buzz out of the day. It was a fantastic day out, and I'm sure a lot of the guys who got injured would have a completely different view on it, but I wouldn't have missed it for the world. When we got back to our nicks that night, the guys that hadn't been there were green with envy.
You can have all the state-of-the-art equipment and latest training methods, but one of the most demanding roles in the police relies on little more than a bit of that.
Is the inspector here? The inspector, the officer in charge.
We've got 2 hostages up here.
I'm talking about the police negotiators.
Anybody else there as a hostage?
There's a kid here as well.
If you cock up a hostage negotiation situation, you could actually precipitate the death of a hostage. That's a tremendous strain on an individual.
Police were called to the scene after...
One hostage crisis on Christmas Day 1985 was to end in chaos. After murdering a woman, Errol Walker had barricaded himself into a flat in West London. He was holding a 4-year-old girl hostage. With Walker cornered, violent and unstable, police negotiator Peter Kruger came in to manage the crisis.
Towards the end of the second day, I had physically agreed, Errol, you are still going to stay in there. You can go on as long as you like, but you are going to come out with me and that child. You're not going to be attacked, you're not going to be shot at, you're going to come out to me.
Walker suddenly broke cover, trying to grab a riot shield. Panic ensued. Armed officers outside the flat decided to seize the opportunity. The police used stun grenades, but Walker had already stabbed the girl.
They shouldn't have gone. They, in my mind, they should not have gone.
3 shots were fired, 2 hitting Walker.
Carleen was carried out suffering from 2 minor stab wounds. She's now recovering in hospital.
Both Walker and the girl survived.
It was a bundled operation, but from my side, the negotiator was doing it right.
This is one area of police work where the outcome is always impossible to predict.
Police had to calm people on the estate. One woman tried to attack them with a knife as feelings ran high.
The Met doesn't always get it right, and nor does any other police force. Sometimes it gets it badly wrong.
Some of them are saying the police missed opportunities to end the siege earlier, and when they did go in, there was no need to use guns.